Errol Spence says he's going back to the basics, back to when he was hungry, and he's going to control his weight going forward. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing if you want to become part of the gang notification gang. Please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, make sure you guys head to the description box of the video if you want to get UFC 249 ESPN Plus pay-per-view. More details below, and I'll also get to that a little bit later in this video. But let's talk about Errol Spence Jr. Shout out to everybody for the support. Head over to Patreon, become the YouTube channel member. We working. Errol Spence, he did an interview with All the Smoke podcast, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, and they really went over a lot. I've made several videos from the content that they shot and the responses from Errol Spence. One thing that was very interesting is he said his weight ballooned up to 190. He said 190, 189, 190 before the Shawn Porter fight. So very interesting admission from Errol Spence Jr. to reveal that. I appreciate his honesty. And he says the accident was kind of a wake-up call, and he was living too reckless or wild or whatever. So hopefully he gets that in order. But it's a little bit shocking just based on the fact of what was the mindset when you're fighting Shawn Porter, which we know gives everyone a tough fight. You had just beaten Mikey Garcia, and you look good in that fight. But Shawn Porter is a different animal, great experience, amateur pedigree. Some people don't know this, but Shawn Porter beat Usyk. Yes, Usyk, who's now at heavyweight, back when they were younger in the amateurs. So Shawn Porter, he just has a lot of experience, tough style, power, athletic, stays in shape, etc. So to me, it's kind of like, what would be the mindset to have been chilling so much, knowing like behind the scenes, Al Heyman and everybody putting together the Shawn Porter fight? That just seemed like a weird move. But he says he's going to be in better shape post-pandemic, and this is what he said on the podcast. Quote, "Right now, I'm pretty much locked in. I'm not snacking on anything. I'm dialed. I'm locked in. If I show you my fridge right now, there's nothing in there but water. I'm locked in. I got all my organic foods and trying to eat healthy. I'm not trying to go back where I used to. I used to go up to 190, 180, 185. I try to stay at 160 so when a fight come, it won't be hard. It used to be hard on me. I weigh like 180, and next thing you know, I got a press conference. So then I got a press conference, and then I'm spending my whole day at the press conference and gain like 6 pounds. Now we're trying to do it the right way, like when I was broke and hungry, when I used to weigh 160, 158, and then go down to 147 real smooth. Right now in the morning, I'm eating egg whites, avocado, spinach." He said for lunch, I'm eating spinach, or I might eat a plate of salad with some egg whites, no egg yolk because the yolk is just fat. For dinner, I'm eating chicken breasts, a little brown rice, nothing fried, everything steamed. I'm cutting out all the junk food. Even in training camp, I was eating a lot of candy, right? He says, it was hard. Once you get through that first month, then you're good, but the first month is tough. You keep putting the weight back on, especially on the weekends. Friends might come over, somebody doing something, or you go to your mother's house, your mother got chips, cakes, soda, you talking to her, you eating at the same time. Then once you get home and step on the scale, then you're like, damn, I got to go run. And you're running again and got to work it off the next week. Basically, for me, I just stay at home. Food is my guilty pleasure. When it comes to food, I'm going to eat. That's why I get so high up in weight. Right now, I'm just cutting everything out. I'm kind of glad now because we're all quarantined up. My mother's quarantined up. My dad's locked in at home, so I don't go to their houses. I'm not hanging around anyone. I'm just staying around my kids," end quote. So very detailed, very honest and sincere from Errol Spence. Before I give you my thoughts, a word from the sponsor. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more fighting. The wait is over. UFC 249 Saturday, May 9th. It's been a minute since we've had some live combat sports, but we back. Watch Ferguson versus Gaethje and Cejudo versus Cruz. Back-to-back title fights on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Also featuring knockout artists Francis Ngannou and Anthony Pettis in separate bouts. Here's how you can watch. Click the ESPN Plus link in the description to get this loaded UFC card for only $64.99, or bundle to save even more. With this bundle, you get UFC 249 plus a 1-year annual access pass to ESPN Plus app for only $84.98. Yeah, that's right, $84.98. That's a 30% savings. ESPN Plus is the home of a ton of original content, sporting events, docuseries, and exclusives. Don't miss out. Click the link today. We working. Now, my thoughts on the Errol Spence, like I said, I appreciate how candid and honest he's being. And I do think it's good that for whatever reason he has, whether it's the accident or quarantine or whatever, he's had this reality check, because that's the first step to improve anything in thyself. You have to acknowledge that there's a problem in the first place, because that's the first step. You look at like a intervention for a gambler. If you have a gambling addiction and you don't think you're wasting your money or you're putting yourself in financial dire straits and debt because you're gambling so much and you're having to pawn off things, and you don't think it's a problem, then how is it going to ever be resolved if you yourself don't think what you're doing is wrong? So it's good that Errol Spence, he's young. You know, people go through these trials and tribulations. Also, you got to understand the mindset of a boxer. A boxer, most guys, they didn't all have a silver spoon. So it's not like, you know, most boxers have received an inheritance or a trust fund or something, and then all of a sudden they're fighting and famous. So a lot of these guys come from inner cities, come from the hood, come from nothing, come from poverty, come from bad teachings even, you know, different cultures and things like that teach you the wrong thing, don't know how to save. That's why a lot of athletes in general, like NBA players and such, they end up broke after they leave the NBA within 5 years. I think it said the NBA, for example, for a professional sport, 60% of the NBA basketball players end up broke after retiring, you know, within the 5 years or so, which is shocking. So good thing is Errol Spence has a very good team, and he's acknowledging that he has something he has to work on, and he's doing something about it. So I can't really shame him or anything for that. That's good. It's good that he's acknowledging it. The only thing, you know, if we're nitpicking, I would wonder why he would even, you know, when everybody's checking for you, everybody's screaming man down and ESJ shirts, at that given point, my only question would be, like, after beating Mikey Garcia, why not just manage it? But it's probably easier said than done, because you got to look at the lifestyle. You hang out with rappers and they're doing whatever. You know, some people drink all the time, pop Molly, eating cake, you know, eating pizza. And then you're around that, and it's tempting. So just like Pac said, temptations. Hey, you know, it's temptations. So I get it. But that's why the boxers get paid the big bucks. There's no other sport that really earns money like boxers. Like, you look at what Floyd's done. Floyd Mayweather, there's no one I can think of, Cristiano Ronaldo or none of them dudes, Messi, UFC fighters, that are earning what he has earned in the level of time that he's earned it. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about, I'm not talking about years. I'm talking about how long it takes for a professional bout. Even if a Floyd fight is a 12-rounder and it goes the distance, that's max like 36 minutes. You see what I'm saying? 3-minute rounds, 12 rounds, that's 36 minutes. So for 36 minutes of work, you know, under an hour, because you know, put the little breaks in between ring walks and stuff like that. So basically in under an hour, Floyd fought Pacquiao and got a guarantee of 100 mil. Plus, when the pay-per-view was said and done, he got another 200 mil or 300, whatever it was. You see what I'm saying? Or even when he was fighting Robert Guerrero, he got $32 million guaranteed and pay-per-view back-end money based on the success of the pay-per-view. Same thing with Canelo, same thing with Maidana, Cotto, all that stuff. He was making big bucks. So in the amount of minutes that you're actually working, boxing pays like crazy. You know, UFC fighters, by and large, don't get paid half as good. You know, Conor McGregor, obviously him and Ronda Rousey were top stars, so they got good purses, you know, considering, but boxing is just a different animal. So I get it, you know, Errol Spence, he's on top, and when you feel on top, maybe you start feeling invincible and you feel on top of the world. But me being around boxing, being in gyms, watching boxing my whole life, covering the sport front and center, being in boxing gyms, knowing boxers, knowing trainers, knowing former fighters and things like that, I just have so much respect for the sport that I know that, you know, you just discipline is a must. That's why there's the only reason Floyd Mayweather has been able to be atop of the division for so long. There's no way he could have that run of undefeated with no dry spell, no, you know, run. Because we've seen even guys like Jean Pascal. He's had some longevity in the sport, but he's took some L's for a minute and it was looking like it was over for him, you know, losing to this guy, Chad Dawson, Carl Fry, whatever, right? And then now he looks like he's on and popping again. But we've seen that where guys kind of fall from favor, you know, they show a lot of promise, and then they kind of fall off, lose to Kovalev and stuff like Jean Pascal. And then he's been coming back, redisciplined and stuff like that. We've seen that. Floyd, no breaks. Floyd Mayweather has consistently showed you perfection for 22 years in the sport or whatever. So that's something different. So Errol Spence, he's young, you know, like I said, I'm not going to be hard on this situation because I'm sure it is hard. You're making all that money. You got women, you got cars, fast cars, you got parties and invitations, and, you know, you get to go to award shows, you know, other famous people. So you have to kind of compete. And this thing is dangerous. This fame, something we all adore, something worth dying for. Nothing is stuck in this game, searching for fortune and fame. Yeah, man, that fame will get you. Something we all adore. That fame will get you. You seen Andy Ruiz? He's another one. Andy Ruiz, I think he could have beat Joshua. I picked him to beat Joshua the first time, and I picked him to beat him again the second time. But getting that extra money and extra whips and cars, that shifted his focus. So hopefully fighters learn from this, because I promise you this, you gonna make more money doing what's right and doing right by yourself, doing right by your career, doing right by your family, making the right decisions. The fans are going to appreciate it. And everything you think, whatever you unlocked, and I'm not trying to say like I know everything, but even if, like, let's say you're worth 5 million. That's great. You know, you're already like part of an elite group in America. But you can, if you like how life is at 5 million, imagine life at 50 million. You know what I'm saying? Imagine life at 100 million, 150. So there's no real ceilings. Like the Lil Wayne mixtape, no ceiling. No ceilings. There's no ceilings to this. It can keep going on and keep growing. So if you like your car collection, or you like, you know, nice homes and, you know, taking care of your kids and providing, you can all take it to the next level. But in boxing, the only way you could get that is through discipline. And it's such a competitive sport, because however hard you think you're working, there's somebody who might not have even a fraction of what you have that's working harder than you. You know, you think you're doing big time, like, oh, I went for an hour run, they doing a 2-hour run. You know, you running for 4 miles, they running 9-10 miles. You know, you cycling for 10 miles, they cycling for 20. So you got to always be mindful of that and always be on your P's and Q's. And you have to look at the life of a boxer. The shelf life is not even that long. You have a certain prime, and God willing, you get out with no injuries or no brain damage or CTE and all this stuff. And, you know, you have a certain amount, but then you kind of got to get out the game, because there's going to be younger, stronger people who are 10 years younger than you trying to take you out and use you as a stepping stone. So fighters got to smash and have a career, an exit strategy, and a game plan, invest, all this type of stuff. You know, maybe I should talk about this stuff a little bit more and more on my channel. You always got to have your next move and be, you know, it's chess, not checkers. I'm gonna just leave it at that. But shout out to Errol Spence being very candid. Let me know how I did in this video. If you're interested in UFC 249 ESPN Plus pay-per-view, link is in the description. Order that. It does help the channel. Thank you for everyone who has already ordered it. I looked at the analytics. Yeah, we tracking great. So give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.